coming back. And in my heart, I think that was the case. And when I was visiting with John in October, I said, but I don't understand why she didn't. And John looked at me and he said, it's obvious. And you said?
They had a son 9 months later.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So she got pregnant pretty quickly, that old Frank. And
I've seen her in a while.
Yeah. And she wasn't traveling. But certainly as someone who was around Grandma a lot in her last years, I think she was really deeply, deeply sad and felt very guilty about having left her daughter behind, and I think she felt very torn. I think she was a very stricken woman from that, and I think that Sophie certainly felt that that guilt or that pain from it, and perhaps her sons did too, though I didn't see much evidence of
And
that.
so did Elizabeth.
Yeah, Elizabeth had a
Because
very
it was
difficult
not
life.
easy. My mother said it was not easy to get Elizabeth to really talk to her and open up to her. She resented. She had 2 wars that went through there. People then thought everybody in the United States was
Well,
rich, not knowing my mother worked in a factory all her life. Worked very hard and never really had it very easy, but certainly not like Elizabeth did. And it took a while for them to talk.
Yolanda's granny, Elena, knew Elizabeth. They were friends. They lived close together. And I think your granny said that Elizabeth was very bitter.
Yeah.
Her grandmother.
Her grandma. Her grandma. Elizabeth's mother. I mean,
Grandmother.
grandma.
So she had a very difficult life, and it was the
You saw what she lived in.
yeah, and it wasn't even clear how she was related to Kliejunas as she was growing up, because I don't think she grew up with the name Kliejunas, even though that was her father's name. It seems she was raised under the name Kasputis, because that was the name of her grandmother.
I've seen that name.
And so her relationship with this family is a little shady. One of the things that's interesting about this is that Elizabeth had 7 sons, and most of them are no longer alive. A few of them are. We met one last summer. And those of us who've been to Lithuania in the past year have met a wonderful, wonderful cousin of ours named Marita, who's the son or the daughter of Elizabeth's son, Paul. Paul's now dead. And Marita was an only child. So she is a cousin, second cousin to this whole string of people.
Excuse
across
me,
the
is
way.
that the Marita in the picture that I showed you?
Yeah.
Okay. She was
With a
little,
yeah.
yeah.
She remembers meeting Sophie
Yeah.
when Sophie came.
Okay.
She's
So anyway.
our second cousin, you said, or
She would be our
first-
second cousin,
second cousin, okay.
I believe. Because our first cousins are
Here,
these
yeah.
guys, they have the same
Yeah, it's true, right?
grandparents, and she has different, no, she has the same great-grandparents,
Mhm.
yeah. Anyway, what we want to do is understand that it's especially cool that we have descendants of Ioassis, who was so important to the fact that this family exists here at all. Had he not come up with the money to send Frank, and maybe send Selma after him, after Frank, none of us would be here. None of us would exist. It just blows me away. So we have descendants of that man.